Jessica Levi loves stories. She has a PhD in Egyptology, and after 8 years of the adjunct shuffle, she devoted herself to writing full-time. Her first novella is a vampire opera and Pushkin sonnets. She dreams of one day collaborating on a graphic novel and meeting Stephen Colbert. Take it away, Jessica.
All right, can people hear me?
You're good.
All right. Then I am going to read from said novella, The Night Library of Sternendach, and this is the story about Cunegonde. And in the section I am reading, Cunegonde or Kinga, who is the last scion of a family of vampire hunters, she's 19 years old in this section, but 12 years before, when she was 7, she met the Graf, which is a German title for count, for the first time, and he gave her a book of fairy tales. And she hasn't really thought about him that much, but we see her on her own for the first time, and, well, things happen, so here we go. It's Friday, and the day is dying. The summer, too, though not quite yet. The city's lamps and headlights vying to light the way once sun has set. Downtown, the city stirs, awaking to second life. The people taking in food and friends in small cafes, then off to shopping, concerts, plays. Through all this, Cunegonde wanders. She soon starts university, but for a span of time, she's free to take the air. At times, she ponders the castle perched above the sprawl that casts its shadow over it all. Tonight, the castle and its master should not be further from her mind. With Oma out of town at last, her unending lessons are consigned to later thought. She has collected her auburn hair in unaffected and charming plaits. To match their sheen, a knee-length dress in emerald green. She seeks a bistro's outdoor table where she can watch the crowds go by and, while she's at it, maybe try a sample of the local label. Once served, she to her seat adjourns and smiles at boys whose heads she turns. The Riesling and the boys admiring are satisfying, passively. She'd hoped for something more inspiring, if not quite sure what that might be when setting out on this excursion. She itches for a new diversion. There is, if she remembers right, an opera being sung tonight. And opera houses, she is certain, attract more worldly clientele, well-dressed and more grown up as well. She must arrive before the curtain. Abandoning her glass and chair, she hurries to the central square. And as her footsteps bring her near and electric lights give way to gas, from concrete cobblestones appear and a fountain bubbles. Here they pass. The tourists and the opera's patrons, substantial men and wealthy matrons. Their flashy clothes and jewelry seem contrary to the antique gleam of gaslight. Rising up behind them, the opera, with its open doors, admits the crowd, and in it pours. So elegant does Kinga find them, she stares a bit more than she ought, but doubts that this is what she sought. At least the house itself impresses. Stone angels, gods, and horses fly, while grotesques haunt its arched recesses. The last of sunlight leaves the sky. The final opera-goers hasten within the theater. From her place in the square, she sees the lobby's light before the doors are shut up tight. Then all is still. In what direction should Cunegonde this time head? It's really much too soon for bed. She stands some minutes in reflection, distracted then by something new, a black car purring into view. She knows this car, and all unbidden her Oma's voice sounds in her ear, "You're out alone. Now get you hidden before those creatures find you here." She doesn't move. Why ever would she? 12 years it's been. The likelihood she might chance upon them here tonight is far too small. She'll stay all right. First out is Timmick, who emerges as plain of face as she recalls from meetings in the castle's halls. Next, Timmick, from the back seat, urges a stately vampire lady, gowned in amber silk, her blonde hair wound about her head. This is Amata, whom Cunegonde has never met, nor to this moment had she got a good look at her in person yet. She'd recognize her from descriptions in Oma's records. Such inscriptions tell little of her private life. In public, she's the Lord Graf's wife. Most any human she'd enamor, this lovely figure draped in gold. To Cunegonde, it's a cold, unearthly thing, this vampire glamour. Her training has made her immune, she thinks, of course, a bit too soon. For when the Graf appears, it shakes her. If childishly her heart had warmed to him an age ago, it makes her blush hot to find her grown self charmed. As he glides toward his destination, she watches, wrapped in fascination, and lets escape a tiny sigh. He stops and turns and meets her eye. No sound, no movement but the beating within her breast between them now. He offers her a graceful bow. She awkwardly returns his greeting, which draws from him a kindly smile. They watch each other for a while. But then they hear the opera starting, faint music through the entry swells. The Graf smells once again in parting and nods to Kunigunde. Farewell. His Graffin's pleasure now attending, he takes her arm in his. Ascending the opera stairs, they open wide a door and disappear inside. No moon tonight. The stars come slowly to dot the sky. Their panoply stirs echoes in her memory. The images of something wholly important she forgot somehow. She must go home and find it. Now. And I think that's where I'm going to end. I'm giving away, if you fill out the survey and elect to join up, I'm giving away a signed ARC of this book. And that's for US addresses only, I'm afraid. But I look forward to sending it to somebody. Thank you very much.